So I see you guys enjoyed the full interview as far as my reaction of Joe Klatt sitting down with Coach Prime. This is the final part 3 of this interview. I will be back to the interview. Shout out to Joe Klatt.
Every other city I go, from Colorado to the Bayou I go. Y'all know the motto, get a info I know. My people know it's Mad Dog TV, let's go. To every other city I go. From Colorado to the Bayou I go. Y'all know the motto, get a info I know.
Be like that.
How would you fix it? I mean, do you have one or two things that you would do tomorrow if you could
see
fix it?
Everybody want it both ways. Like the kids want to be compensated like pros, but they don't want to be treated like pros.
Right.
Because
they don't want to have a contract that holds them.
Pros get talked to anyway, not by the coaches, but by the media. See, it's been a safeguard around college athletes that the media don't really go at them because they're amateurs. Now you got media talking junk to college players because college players are making more than the media. Mm-hmm. And a lot of these collegiate athletes ain't built like that to hear that. Because the first thing they do, and we try to safeguard that, is at halftime they go to checking the phone.
Yeah.
What they said about me. And you can't live like that. It's tough. They should be compensated, all of them, in every sport. But what's that mean? What does that look like?
Yeah.
Because I don't believe that Tom should be making what Harry makes.
Yeah.
Because Tom may contribute much as Harry did, but Tom need to be compensated like Tom.
And I agree with Coach Prime 100% as far as NIL deals and these players getting treated like you getting paid, you know what I'm saying, especially by the media. I am somebody that's a small YouTuber, but whenever I make a certain video, the same players that he's talking about be in the comments, why you saying this, why you saying that, but at the end of the day, you are a football player. What are you worrying about what I say? This is my channel. I don't work for Colorado Buffaloes. Not trying to say it like that, but that's just the fact of the reality. And at the end of the day, I'm going to keep talking my talk, and a lot of times these players are so sensitive that it's a very bad problem in my personal opinion.
And Coach Saban would put it like, there's got to be a balance between what you give and what you take, you know, and
yeah, but if you give it, if I give you something, I have an expectation. Now, if you're not meeting the expectation, what do I do?
Right. What's your recourse?
Right. So I should have some type of recourse if I'm breaking you off and blessing you and you ain't doing nothing for it. No. Where do we go from there?
Yeah. But we start with, we all agree, and I agree, and I know you agree, they should be compensated.
Yeah.
And you got a couple of guys, Shedeur being one of them, and obviously Travis, that are doing remarkably well.
They're doing really good. Don't forget Shiloh, because every time
doing well.
Every time I forget Shiloh, Dad, you sit right up there with Joel and you didn't mention it.
That's
you sat right there.
Shiloh, I won't forget you. I got you. I got your
Joel,
back.
I appreciate that. I needed that.
You got it. Okay. You just touched on, like, your tank is full.
Yeah.
You want to do this. This is your calling.
Mm-hmm.
And I would be interested to hear from you. What's your vision long term as a coach and maybe for Colorado football after Shedeur, Shiloh, and Travis?
Okay, let me start by saying I'm a leader of men, not a follower of men. I'm a father, not a baby daddy. I lead my sons. I don't follow my sons. My sons, Travis included, are getting ready to migrate to the NFL. I'm not following them to the NFL. I'm a bona fide leader. I'm a daddy, man. Not a baby dad. I'm a real father. So I paved the way for my babies. They're not paving the way for me. So I plan on being here and being dominant here because they are establishing something that we're going to continue to build on for years to come. And I'm thankful that they're establishing what they're establishing.
So that leads me into this year.
Mm-hmm.
And the only part, so we sat down last year.
Yeah.
And it was great. I loved our conversation. I really did. And there was only one part where I thought you were going to come across and be like, what are you talking about? Don't say. I said, if I'm putting on my analyst hat and not my alumni hat,
gotcha.
Right? And I say, okay, what does substantial improvement look like for any team in college football? Well, I've been doing this for a long time, so I would say, you know what, +3 to 5 in the win column is like really, really good and tough. And I said that to you, and you said, "What do you? We want it all."
Yeah.
I believe the answer is, I want the full cup.
Yeah.
And now I'm going to sit here and I'm going to tell you, if I put my analyst hat on,
Put it on.
I see a team that, if things happen the right way, based on the fact that you won 4, you were +3, you probably could have won or should have won 2 or 3 more.
Right.
I see the schedule you have this year as opposed to the schedule you had a year ago.
And the quarterback ability.
The quarterback ability, obviously.
That we played against. I'm saying that.
Oh, of course.
That's
You
what I
played
mean.
some of the best quarterbacks in the country.
Yeah.
I legitimately feel like you guys can be a upper echelon, compete for the Big 12 championship.
Agree with Coach Prime 100%. I'm glad he also addressed this situation when Shedeur, Travis, and all these guys leave, what he's going to do next. And I absolutely love his answer and his response to that question. I also agree with Joel Klatt as far as how far this team can really go. I see playoffs, Big 12 champions. There's no exception to what this team can do, especially with them beefing up the offensive line, defensive line, got the right players in there now. This football team has the right pieces to go very far. It's all going to come down to coaching, in my personal opinion, which I'm going to I'm going to hold them very high as far as how they coach these football games. But I feel like they have everything they need to be successful.
Okay, that's not what your Colorado draws on, right?
No,
'Cause
that's.
I want them to know.
I'm going to say that.
I want them to know you don't have your Colorado draws on and your tank top up under there.
No, but they are comfy, and I do still have them.
But I want them to know that so you can, because your analyst hat is on.
That's exactly right.
There you go.
Last year, I said 4 or 5 wins was going to be a very good year, and I still stand by that. I know that it didn't finish the way that you wanted to,
Right.
and I think that the heightened expectations led to a feeling like expectations weren't met. I don't feel like that was the case.
Let me tell you something, and I don't want to stop your soliloquy because it's
That's okay.
beautiful. Certain areas, we weren't built for the moment. Certain areas,
Yep.
we weren't built for it.
That's right.
The moment came, it'd be 3rd and 5. We don't get it. 1st and 10, we just need one more stop because we know darn well if the ball get in Shedeur's hands,
Yep.
he's going to win it.
Yep. Well, I mean, you need one more stop against USC.
We didn't get a stop.
That's right.
So that's where.
So to me, I genuinely believe that with your quarterback in particular, you have a chance to compete for the Big 12 championship. In this era, there's 12 teams in the playoff. If you're on the level where you can compete for a conference championship, you will be competing, at least in my estimation, for a playoff spot.
I love to hear it.
What's your expectation?
To do just what you just mentioned, because I feel like we addressed the needs and tremendous concerns protecting the quarterback.
That's
we got
right.
a darn quarterback. Forget he's my son. Forget all that, because when you place that in it, the hate comes.
That's right.
And you start getting
Well, let me say it.
crazy.
Let me say it.
There you go.
Shedeur was one of the best quarterbacks in the country when protected. When you look at when I evaluated the film of the games that you guys were able to protect him, you went up and down the field. And he was sacked 50 plus times, which is an unbelievable number.
Protect Shedeur Sanders. This team will go to the playoffs. It's simply as that. This team had a quarterback to be sacked 50 plus times. So at the end of the day, I'm gonna tell you guys right now, I agree with Joel Klatt. It's simple football. If you minimize the amount of sacks Shedeur Sanders took, this football team could have won a lot more games than.
So when I'm sitting here, I'm looking at your team, your improvement on the offensive line, and I'm thinking to myself, okay, if Shedeur only gets sacked half
of the time.
So let's say less than 25 times, which is still a lot, by the way. Okay, there are guys out there. Bo Nix from Oregon got sacked like 6 times.
Yes, right.
And I'm saying, like, if you go under 25, that's 4 more wins.
Yeah,
Easy.
at the gate.
Now it's about, can you make a 3rd and 5
Get
play?
one stop.
Can you get this 4th down stop and get off the field?
Right.
And that's how you get from
That's
eight
Rob
to 10.
Livingston. That's bringing a pro in. And let me tell you something about pros. And I have nothing against collegiate coaches because there's some great ones out there. I just have a better rhythm, a better feel, because that's my thought process. And that's the process that I want these young men to understand where they're headed. So if they're taught by a pro, understanding how to be a pro makes it much more realistic. And I can comprehend the style and the way they teach. So you're talking about over 127 years in this building of NFL coaching experience. It's unbelievable, man. And I absolutely love it. And I think we're better not only on the field, we're better off the field. And that's not an insult to the guys that were here previous year, but I think we got better, man. Mm-hmm. I think I'm better. I think the whole thing is better, and we're not done. From when this interview is going to be aired, we're probably going to have probably 10 to 15 more grown men that can help us right now.
Sounds about right? Coach Prime definitely have added at least 15 guys from that transfer portal. One of my favorites is Khalil Benson. I absolutely love his mentality, everything he's been able to do as far as within the offensive line.
On special teams as well as offensively and defensively, added to this team. From a few from high school, several from the portal. So I love what I'm seeing in spring practice. I love where I know we're headed. I love what I know is going to come into the house, and the communication process and the teaching of the staff. I love it. I really do.
Is there anything you want to do differently year two than year one?
I want to be much more consistent. You mean me personally or the team?
Personally, Coach Prime.
I got to act on what I feel. And I got to act on what I know. It's like you see some things, you feel some things, and I'm a nice guy, so I give it a chance to materialize and for it to come to pass. And then I call my support guys around the country, and Coach Saban and some of the other guys. I don't want to mention their names, but they give me so much love and advice. I gotta act on it. If I would have acted on it, things might have been a lot different, but I didn't.
My man, here we go. 21 ways to win on and
Some
off.
final thoughts, a very good video. Make sure you guys go get that book. I'm sure Coach Prime dropped a lot of knowledge within that book, as he always does every single day. So my final thoughts, very good video, as I said before. Shout out to Joel Klatt as far as this interview. Very good interview. I'm glad you guys enjoyed this interview. If you guys want me to do more videos like this, I definitely will do so. I see you guys are enjoying it. And if you guys like the video, definitely subscribe to the channel. Peace.